When casting PUBG, it's really important to keep the audience engaged, but also focused and understanding on what is actually happening. It's really easy to fall into the lines of so and so shot somebody else, that person's dead, it was a headshot, so and so else is creeping. And that can get really boring if you don't find a way to create a natural rhythm to it, as well as find the story that you want to tell to the audience. So, the biggest things that I do when I'm casting PUBG is I look for the analytics. So if there's a little bit of dead time, but I can see that two or more squads are about to engage, I will start predicting due to their placements and their loadouts and just their style of play, how it's going to go down. I might say that this person's in really good position to do a lot of damage, or somebody who's maybe moved away from their squad is putting themselves at risk, especially when we see that there's another team nearby. Those are things that you as an observer can see, and it's important to maybe relay that story to the audience. Now, you're not always going to guess right. We can't all be Nostradamus, but you'd be amazed how time and time again that really creates a great narrative for the audience. And if for whatever reason, maybe they overcome it, it makes it twice as exciting now because you and the audience are sitting here anticipating this event only to be shown wrong and in a good way that people can really perform themselves. So a really great example of ways to do this are or to look at what objects people have. Maybe look at their kills. You'll see in the bottom corner that their team has a total of 7 kills, but maybe this one player on that team doesn't have any yet. That's a really good thing to point out. And you can say something along the lines of that person is still yet to get a kill on the board. Perhaps they're looking to prove themselves. They want to contribute to their team. And you start to see that person line up for a shot. Everybody in the audience is now going to get really excited because they're also waiting for that person to get a kill because you've pointed it out. You've showed them that that story is now a narrative that's important. Other things is late in the game, of course, grenades are a gunplay. You can, as the observer, see what damage throwables people do or don't have, and pointing out and talking about the items that people do or don't have will still tell a story. Do they have any meds left? Is the blue zone closing in on them? Are they likely to survive this? Do they have what they need to maybe make that Hail Mary, play? 2 grenades and a prayer. These are the types of things that are really important to show to the audience, because anybody in the audience is going to see that somebody has a gun and they're shooting at somebody else. That's the obvious thing for them. But you as a caster have the ability to paint the story so much broader and at the same time get the audience to root behind specific teams and or maybe feel heartbroken when somebody just doesn't have it going their way. Another really good thing to look for too is to switch between observer free cam, which is when you're out in the open and watching a fight from afar or from above, and or switching to perspective. So if you're in a fight and it's a long fight, switching to and from perspectives. If you're in a fight and you're not quite sure who's going to take it, but it's a very close range fight, that's an instance where I really like to use the above perspective and maybe get an opportunity to see as many people as I can in frame. And it also makes it so that I have the quick ability to click into a person if I think that person's going to scope in, they're going to ADS, they're going to get some headshots, and that's going to look really good on stream. But you have to be careful. It's really easy to not click into player view or maybe stay into player view too long. But whatever it is that you're showing, you want to make sure that it's what you're commentating about. That is the number one most important thing. Don't commentate on something that you are not showing. You're only going to confuse the audience. Other really great advice that I can give for commentating is to know all of your places, know every name for every area, know every gun sound. So if you hear somebody shooting in the distance, you're able to identify the gun before you click to hear what somebody's done. You don't have to rely on the kill feed. Other instances, of course, being knowing the types of places that are usually hot drops, bottlenecks, or places of good coverage. So if the circle is small, maybe people are in a ditch behind a mountain, you can comment on their location. And let's say it's phase 6, and you know that phase 7 is going to pull away from that compound, and they're going to be left out in the open. That is a narrative that you now want to say, is that these people are going to have to leave this area. They're going to have to cross an open field. It's very risky. The other squads all have sniper rifles looking in that direction. Before that even happens, you can fill 20, 30 seconds of time by talking about and painting that narrative so that inevitably when the zone starts to move and those people have to move with it, you, along with the audience, are now engaged and you're watching this fight to see, okay, have they overcome the odds? Were they able to get through this zone? Maybe another team starts fighting over here, and that gave this team the opportunity to sneak into the next circle. That is what good commentating is. That's good analysis, is you are showing the user what all the possibilities are for game sense and gameplay. And it comes with time. The more you watch, the more you see, you'll really start to understand. In fact, I encourage everybody to really give this a try because, at least for me, I've noticed my own game sense has improved, and I'm oftentimes more than likely to call out what other people are doing just by observing it for so often. So if any chance you have to get into an observer mode on a custom game, do it. Maybe put on PGC, PEL, MPL VODs, mute all the audio, and just watch the camera and practice commentating on what the camera is seeing. Because you don't have to be in control of the camera to be in control of the narrative. And good commentating is all just about how well you can control that narrative.